Hello and welcome to Robot Framework tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to walk you through the test case automation using the Robot Framework, and I'll be taking the real example of the test case, which is a little example, the sample example that you see. This is the manual test case that I have prepared just to walk you through how, as an automation tester, you will be getting the manual test case and then walking through the manual test case and then converting that manual test case into the automation script using the robot automation framework. Now here on my screen I have the sample test case, which is basically opening the browser and then launching ebay.com, and then I'm trying to verify the basic search functionality of the ebay.com website. So what I'm doing here is, if you see the test steps, so there is a precondition wherein the browser should be open and eBay website should be launched, and then there are test steps, and in the test steps there are 3 test steps which are basically to search for the text, and here the test data is the text mobile that we'll be typing in, and the expected result is that user should be able to type the search text successfully. There is a typo there. Let me correct that as well. And the next step is clicking on the search button, and after the click of the search button, the search results should be displayed in the expected results, and then we should be verifying the results on the search page. So we'll be verifying some text that is displayed on the search page. And then the post condition is basically to close the browser after the test case has run. So this is the manual test case. If you are doing a manual testing, you will pick this particular test case. It might be in your Excel sheet. At the moment I have prepared it into the Google spreadsheet, but there are a lot of test management tool where this sort of test case will be stored, like your Quality Center, HPALM, or Jira Zephyr, or TestLink. So TestRail, there are so many tools out there where you can store your test cases and execute your test cases. So let's go ahead and open the PyCharm and convert this manual test case into the automation test case using Robot Framework. So let me open PyCharm. Here in the test section, if you see, I'll create another product or another folder and I'll name it as eBay. All right, because this is related to the eBay test. So I have created the eBay folder, and now I'll create a file in there. So I'll create direct file. I won't create any more folders there. So let me say basic search .robot. Okay, so now in this particular basic search .robot file, we'll start writing our test case. Okay, so let's import the key sections of the robot file. So the first section is the settings. So if you start typing SETT, it will pick the settings. Just hit enter, and settings section has been imported. The next section will be your variables. Okay, so we'll import the variables just in case we are using it, and then we'll import the test cases, and then we'll add the section for keywords. Okay, so you just start typing the keywords that you want to add into the file, and it will automatically detect and display those keywords. So now in the settings, we'll add some documentation. So start typing DOC and hit enter, and you will see that automatically 2 spaces have been added, right? So these 2 spaces are very much necessary in Robot Framework automation. So documentation, 2 spaces, and then I'll say basic search functionality. All right, and then we need to import the library, Selenium library, because we will be automating this particular test case using Selenium library. So I'll just type in library and then Selenium library. All right, so now you'll see the import has happened, and here you can notice that there are 2 spaces here. So please note, this is very, very important in Robot Framework, the spaces. Otherwise, if there is even a single space, there will be an error and you won't be able to execute the file successfully. So 2 spaces are necessary in the robot script. Okay, so at the moment we are not using any variables as such, so we'll leave that as is, and then we'll come to the test case. So the first thing in the test case section is to specify the name of the test case. So we'll say verify basic search functionality for eBay. All right, and the next thing is we can add the documentation. So we'll hit tab and then start typing in documentation, DOC, hit enter. There will be 2 spaces automatically added, and then you can specify this test case verifies the basic search. All right, so just a dummy text there for this particular test case, and then you can add the tags. So just start typing tags, hit enter, and I'll say this is the functional test. Okay, so functional tag I have added. Now the next step is to start adding the steps to automate these manual test cases with the robot script. So the first thing is the precondition to open the browser and launch the website, right? So which is through the keyword. So if we go through the previous tutorial, we have used the keyword open browser. So we'll use open browser, right, keyword, and then provide the URL. So https www.ebay.com, and then 2 spaces, mention the browser on which you want to open, right? So I'll specify Chrome. I want to test this on Chrome browser first. Okay, so this is the precondition, the step 1. So opening the browser and launching ebay.com website, right? Now coming to the test step 1. So user clicks on search text box and types in the search text. Okay, so that's the next step. Now let's see which is the keyword that we'll utilize in the Selenium library to do this particular function. So to search for that particular keyword, I'll go to the Selenium library documentation, right? And if you scroll up here, you will see that there is a tag cloud there, and here in the shortcuts, right? So you'll see that if you try to find the text, okay, so there are a lot of text there. I'll say input text. Yeah, with input you can see input password, input text. All right, input text into alert. So this is something which we might be utilizing. So click on input text and see if this is what we are looking for. So yes, input text with the locator and text that we want to enter, right? So that's what we need to utilize. This is the keyword we need to utilize to send the keys into a text box. Okay, and if you say clear is equal to true, what it will do is it will remove, if there is any existing text in the text box, it will clear it first before sending the text. Okay, so we'll go back, and here we'll say input text 2 spaces and the locator. Okay, so locator is the locator that we want to find out. So on ebay.com, if we go to ebay.com, and just to find the locator, just right click on your Chrome browser, just right click and click on inspect on this particular element, so which is the search text box. And now here this will be the highlighted text. Just right click, copy, and copy XPath or selector, which is the CSS selector. So to do it quickly, I'll click on copy XPath. As of now, I'll go through the selectors in lot more detail in separate tutorial, but as part of this robot framework tutorial, I won't be covering a lot more detail about the selector in this tutorial, but in future I'll cover all these concepts of how you'll identify the selectors and different selectors easily for the automation. So I've copied the XPath, I've copied the selector. Going back to the robot framework script, I'll put the selector, so just right click and paste. Okay, and then 2 spaces and provide the text. Okay, so text that we want to verify is mobile, right? That's the test data. So I provided the input text with the selector and the text that I want to search. Now the next step is to, if we see the test case again, is to click on the search button. So we need to figure out the search button, what is the locator for the search button. So if we go to on this ebay.com website, right click on the search button, click on inspect, and it will highlight the search button. Just right click, copy, and click on copy XPath. Go to the robot framework script and then check which is the keyword that we'll be utilizing to press the button. Okay, so let's see whether there is any keyword in Selenium library for pressing the button. Okay, so just find press and we'll see there are a lot of search results. So we'll see press keys. Yep, so you can see press key or press keys, we can use any of these. So click on press keys and you will see that in the press keys you can provide the location, so basically the locator, okay, and the keys. All right, so here you can see press key has been deprecated, so we can use press keys, so locator and the key that we want to pass. So we want to provide the locator, and mostly we are interested in pressing the return key. So going back, we'll say press keys and then 2 spaces, paste the location of the keys or the button, 2 spaces, and then hit return. Okay, so now what it will do is it will input the text in this particular location, which is the text box, the mobile text, and then it will press the keys. And the next step in our manual test case is to verify the results on the search page. Okay, so we need to check what is the keyword to verify the text on the page. So go to the Selenium library again and just see there is something page contains or something, right? So we want to verify the contents of the page. So there is page contains, right, or wait until page contains. So we just want to use page contains. Let's see. So there are lots of keywords there. Wait until page contains. So we'll use the keyword page should contain. So let's go page should contain. So here if we see, click on page should contain here. So page, you need to provide the text that you are looking for and it will verify the page content, right? So here for example, if I'm searching for mobile and clicking on search button, so I am interested in verifying this text results for mobile, because this is something dynamic which might change. So I just want to verify that results for mobile text is displayed, or results for, say for example, cars. So any text that we are passing, that should be available. So let's use the keyword page should contain, right? We'll use this particular keyword and just put this keyword here, 2 spaces, and provide the details that we are looking for. So I am looking for page should contain results for mobile, copy it and paste results for mobile, right? And then the last step is the post condition. So we have covered all the 3 steps here in the automation script. Now the last step is to close the browser. Okay, so that is the post condition. We'll use the keyword close browser. All right, so these are all 5 steps for the manual test case, which we have converted into the automation script in our robot framework. Now let's save this file. Okay, so we'll save all and run this particular test case. So let me open the terminal. I'll type in the command robot -d. We'll put the results in results directory. All right, and then space, we need to provide the script location. So we'll say tests and then eBay, and then we are looking for basic search dot robot. All right, so and hit return, and now the test case should execute. There is some issue. Let me check what is the issue. So no keyword with name open browser. Okay, so here you can see the reason is because I have only one space here after open browser, right? So that's the very important thing that you need to keep in mind always, that the spaces are always the two spaces, right, in after the keyword or after any of the documents. So any keyword that you're using in robot framework, make sure there are two spaces after the keyword. Okay, so we'll save it again, and let me clear these results here so that we can verify the results. I'll delete all of them and rerun this particular test. Now you can see the browser is getting launched, right? It launched eBay, it typed in the mobile, it hit on search, and then it verified and closed the browser, right? So here you can see that basic search functionality, the status is pass, there is one critical test, 1 pass, 0 failed, and here in reports you can see the report HTML got generated. Okay, so if you just right click, open in browser, I'll open it in Chrome, and here you can see this is the basic search report and the documentation. This text is coming from the documentation that we use. So basic search functionality, if you open the test case here, this is the basic search functionality documentation that we have used, and that's the reason we need to use the documentation in our test case, because our reports are very clear when we use clear documentation, right? Then the start time, end time, elapsed time, and if we go to the tag here, so this is the functional tag that we used, right? And it is showing one result. If you go to the detail, right, so if I go to all test case, you will see verify basic search functionality for eBay. This is the name of the test case, right? That's the name. And then the documentation here, this test case verifies the basic search, which is basically this documentation that we have provided here, and the tag is the tag that we have provided here, and then it shows the status. If you want to go to the details, click on the test case here, and then for each keyword it will display the details. So open browser, what it is doing, it is opening browser to base URL, then it is inputting the text in the text box, then it is pressing the keys, and then you can see it is verifying the page content. So if we open this particular, let me move it a little bit here, yeah, so this keyword here is verifying the page contents, right? So it found the results for mobile and then it closed the browser. Okay, now let me make some error in this particular test case and show you the results again. Okay, so let me open PyCharm again, and if I say some garbage content here and run the test case again. All right, so let me run it and see whether the test case, how the test case behaves and how the reports are visible. So it is opening the website, typing in the mobile, hitting on the search button, and then verifying the results, and it will close the browser after that. So now you can see that it was looking for the text results for mobile, but it couldn't found. So let's go back and see the results again. The test case has executed. You can see one test case total and it has failed, right? Let's go ahead to the report again, open in the browser and see the report. So now you can see the report is all red because the test case failed. If we go to all test case, go to the details, now you can see it failed and it captured the page screenshot, right? And you can see that it was expecting something like results for mobile, some chunk character there, but it couldn't found that, and robot framework automatically changed the status to fail. I mean, the test case failed because verification failed, and you can see robot framework automatically took the screenshot. So these taking the screenshots is all built in. Your reports are all built in, and that's the beauty of robot framework. So you don't have to specify or don't have to design your framework from scratch to add the reporting functionality, to add the screenshot capture functionality on fail, etc. So that's the very good aspect of the robot framework. So this is very brief introduction about the automating of your manual test case into the automation test case using robot framework. Now in the next tutorial, we'll extend a bit more on these particular test case and show you a lot more functionality of robot framework. So hope you like the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.